especially,
the labor putting them all in.
right, I'd rather
Well, it could be
once.
several weeks before we locate all the stuff, correct, anyway, so.
I'm hoping, I think if we did it,
I mean, I'd like to at least get plantings in, some plantings in by Memorial Day for the parade.
Right.
I think.
I agree.
Maybe,
I think we should,
shoot for maybe the third weekend, right before.
that's, hands across
Oh,
the
that's
canal.
across the canal.
hands is
Yeah, we can do it.
Hey,
Hands
bring
across
your
the
finger.
canal is the 21st.
Right,
That's the 21st.
Yes.
Well, they say the last frost is like Mother's Day.
May 15th.
And the 22nd, just so you know, is the color run. So we
Oh, is it?
probably don't
Okay.
want to mess with that either. That's going to
So-
be a great event for Morrisville too.
I think the 14th we'd be okay, that weekend before,
Okay,
so I think we'd be all right then.
all right.
So we'll set it up for the 14th to do phase 2,
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I
which will
think
be
we're okay.
planting the flowers. Are we gonna be able
So the
to,
rain date to be the 15th, since we
Have
had
the
that little
items?
bit of.
are we gonna have, I guess we'll have to go plant shopping?
Yes, that's what I'm working on,
Okay.
sourcing this stuff.
I love
So-
looking at them. I don't know in detail like you what they all are,
Mhm.
but I love planting them. They
Okay,
look pretty.
well, I think it's doable to have it ready,
So we'll do May 14th and rain date for the 15th?
probably makes sense.
Is that good?
Mhm.
Just going to point out one thing though, there is a lot going on the 14th. There is a ton going on the 14th. It's that
All
afternoon
night.
/ evening, but there is a lot going on, so just be
Is
aware
that
of
the
that.
Rotary at the canal also?
No, that's the
Yeah,
following.
You've got
Okay.
the firehouse
Yeah.
has
The
their.
firehouse has their
Yep.
beef and
Summer
beer,
Seats Patriots Day.
Patriots
Day,
Day,
you
the
have,
14th, National Night
N&O,
Out.
Senior Center has an event.
So why don't we look at the 15th?
I think
then?
you're better off with the 15th. I
All right, so
actually
we're
do.
gonna
Yeah.
have to do Sunday the 15th.
15th? Okay.
So just do the 15th.
I forgot all about that.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, I forgot about the thank you.
Speaking of the senior center, those bulbs, daffodils, and other projects, perhaps conversation with the senior center to help beautify their grounds.
Mhm.
I'm not even, I haven't been down there in a long time, so what
And
grounds
their
do they have?
tennis courts, and I saw in the back there.
We
Yes,
talked a little bit there.
we did.
Actually, that's what, that was a skating.
That was supposed to be a
thing.
skate park.
But Annie, maybe you could explain to her what they did down in Bristol with one of those areas that was blacktopped.
Yeah,
Just a thought.
one of the blacktopped areas, and there was a gentleman here who had proposed a community garden here down at the pool a couple of years ago. And spoke with a master gardener down in Bristol, and they loved that idea, and they actually took that idea and their tennis courts and some of their basketball courts down in their park, they turned into a community garden.
Right, just
You can
raised.
buy a raised plot, and they get the lumber donated or at cost, and the Public Works helps build those boxes, and the tech school kids and the high school kids all help build these boxes, and then they get soil, and they sell them. Veterans get it for free, and extra produce gets donated into food pantries in the town. And they have a community dinner at the end of the season down there.
I think
So
it's a neat
it's,
idea.
that would be a great use of that kind, because it's all paved. They just bring in their wood
Or-
raised beds onto that. And they have a hose hooked up that everyone, you know,
Oh, do
they're-
they?
yeah, they have a hose hooked up, and what's nice, when it's in a fenced-in area like that, they can lock it at night, at the end of the night, end of the day, they lock it.
I'll bet you'd have some seniors who would want to do those beds, because I know my mother-in-law, when she was having trouble with her legs, she used to love to garden. And we did basically those raised beds for her, because on her patio area, we bought some nice ones that were up, and she loved it. It gave her a nice area to still do her flowers, and she didn't have a problem with her legs.
Right.
But I'll bet you if you had an area like that, you probably would get some of the seniors that would, like gardening, would actually want to do it.
Yeah, they have low raised beds, and they're planning on doing some.
How
beds.
many, this is probably not the time, but how many gardens do you feel would fit into that tennis court area?
It's big.
Would you do different sizes, so everyone doesn't have to care for
Yeah.
a
They
large one?
started with different sizes, but then now they've gone to one size or one or two
Standard.
sizes. But I have to say, they're looking at over 100 plots.
In that tennis court?
In their courts
They have
down in
two-
Bristol, I'd
two
have to
doors.
take a look and see how big this is, so.
It's an idea, you know, I briefly mentioned it.
And then
to
figure
us.
out how, who, what, where, how they would be, lent out perhaps free to the seniors, and to Morrisville residents would have first pick who don't have gardens at home.
Right.
And then, kind of go from there.
Mhm.
I think they do a discount a half-price discount to seniors, something like that,
Yeah.
but veterans are free,
Yeah.
so.
That's
Yeah,
another
Falls
great
Township
idea.
developed them over the years
Mhm.
too, and they changed how they
Mhm.
did.
That's something too, to look into the future on using that area and utilizing it.
Right.
I think that's a great idea, and see who would all wanna be involved in doing it.
Right.
That's a nice project, and something like I said, if we, can get something like that organized and we feel there's enough people who would wanna participate in it, then we'll make a presentation to the council, so they you can see what you wanna use the area for, so
Mhm.
it's not being utilized at all right now. And, the parking lot itself is borough, that's borough property, so we have that jurisdiction on there and in that park area, so, we could work out something to do there if it's a plan that everyone would wanna do, we could pull that off. And if there's water, the big thing is water access, so if there's something there to water
I
that,
don't-
that'd be kinda,
I don't think there's water access right where the fence is.
If
I
you
don't-
have a hydrant line or water line in the vicinity, that's something that you can run a line
would-
to,
I
and
would
do
think-
a yard hydrant into that space.
I would think we would have to get really, really long hose,
Mhm.
but I would imagine at the senior center, there is an outside hose hookup, I would think.
we could check it out. We could check it out,
Because
see
they
what's
have a
available.
little gazebo out there
Mhm.
that's even been neglected and
Yeah.
everything, there's so much that could be done.
Yeah.
And even down farther in Pennsylvania Avenue, where you have, I don't know what's down there at this point, welcome into Morrisville, whatever whatever it is, either end of the town, around the signs,
Right.
some daffodil bulbs, and summer flowers,
Mhm.
aside from the daffodil, something that.
I know last year where the railroad area is down in the first ward, a group had gotten together to clean that out and put the weed barrier down and put plants in. Annie was also part of that down there. And it was nice. I remember also going down with our water jugs in our car to keep them watered so they would
Yeah.
get established. And everybody jumped in and participated, and it looked really, really nice. The other side's a little tougher, where it is on that hill. I think it was mainly ground cover, I think, anybody
Yeah, I
that
think
was in
that's
there.
what,
There's,
That's a tough side.
there are creeping junipers there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and currently, right now, the railroad's doing work in that vicinity.
Yeah, so we kind of stay away from that, but the other side actually was coming along really well. It also, I don't
get
know,
down there and weed.
It does
Yeah.
need weeding.
yeah,
It
that's
needs
gonna
weeding
need,
down there.
so that's a project that needs to be actually cleaned up and weeded and probably some new mulching put in there, but that also made a big difference, just cleaning up and putting
Right.
some perennials in there and
The
then.
plants
Cecil.
are still coming,
Mhm.
will be coming up.
Yes, but the big challenge there is it's so dry and hot.
Yeah.
It's really hard to plant there. We need to,
Mhm. It has to be drought resistant type
yeah,
of plants.
yes.
Yeah.
And we need, even because it's been so dry this April, we really need water there
Yeah.
at different times.
So it'd be that calendar schedule we have, or like last year what we did was anybody that was going down there to water would post up on Facebook, yes, I watered them, or I went by, or, I would do it my Sunday mornings, I would go down with my jugs and I'd be watering them down there, so.
How about planting just some flowering shrubs?
There are shrubs
Yeah, there
in
are some
there.
there.
Yeah, I know, but just nothing but shrubs, not flowers.
Yeah, no, there are quite a few shrubs in there that were planted at various times,
I think
so.
some hosta too.
Are we
There's,
talking Lower Hill or Upper? Because I know the Upper Hill is very hard to,
Yeah.
No, we're talking the lower.
yeah, no, but I'm
there's
talking the upper.
Rose of Sharon, there's roses, and there's a lilac in there. There's several things in the lower section. In the upper section, there's a weeping cherry and a knockout rose, and the rest are creeping junipers, so.
I was gonna say, our knockout roses, you said they pretty much look like they're gonna come back?
Yes,
Okay,
they're coming back.
because I see they're all out, all over the place, even Home Depot had them.
These were
Beautiful.
cut so far back,
Okay,
it's gonna take a little while for them to
Yeah.
rejuvenate.
okay, yeah, because I know they were all over, and I thought if we had to replace any of them, they're out right now.
Right,
I'd
plus
fix
we
them
need
up.
to move some of the ones to accommodate the plan
Right,
appropriately, so.
okay.
one last thing I have, on the weed barrier, the newspapers, in my trunk now, I have, I think, 2 bags of newspapers.
Okay.
I'll take them.
We'll take
That's a
them.
big area.
Yeah.
We'll take them.
We've
I'll
all
take
been
them.
collected, yeah.
The end of the night,
Yes.
I'll get them from you tonight, as a matter of fact, yep.
Nice.
I
Thank you.
have, my neighbor around the corner, she's actually collected a full trash bag, kitchen 13-gallon trash bag full of newspapers for me. And then people have just been leaving newspapers on my doorstep
okay.
in bags. So I've transported them into my garage at this point. Yes.
Okay, so on the 15th, we're gonna be doing the, whatever plants we get in, we're gonna put in. We'll
And we're
move,
gonna do-
I guess, whatever, ones have to be moved.
So we're gonna do the plantings, and then we're gonna have to get the weed barrier down.
Okay, then we have to get to Kitty from Mulch. You want brought in that day?
Yeah, we should have the mulch there that day when we plant, so we can mulch around the base of things.
Okay, we'll have to contact Kitty for the mulch. I think she can bring that through the MBA,
That's what
because
she
she's
said.
not nonprofit. And I think she said she can get maybe, how much do you think in?
Well, we needed 3 yards of dirt. We went through 3 yards of dirt for that area.
It's probably gonna need at least, what do you think, 4 or 5
Rebecca's
yards?
still angry about that.
I think we're probably gonna need about 5.
About 5 yards?
Yeah.
Okay, 5 yards. Okay, we can pretty much put it in that same area, do the same thing, we can prop up the canopy and stuff and put it in that one corner, okay.
That was actually a fun day,
Yeah, it was. It was a
In the
nice day.
rain.
in the rain. But you know what, we got started on it early enough,
Mhm.
and we were able to tackle a lot
Yeah.
before
A lot got
that
done.
rain really
Yeah.
came down.
Mhm.
Yeah, we did a lot that day. Okay, so then with that, we're pretty good. We have to do a flyer. Did you want to talk a flyer, Danielle, for, like we did last time, to
Yeah.
give to the borough, to put on the website?
Yeah, what I would actually like to do is, it's getting dark out now, maybe tomorrow is go down and take a picture
Okay,
of the back end
okay,
of the plaza,
instead of the front, okay.
and then use that as my
So that's how
flyer.
she just took a picture of the statue, the area, and then
Yeah.
posted it on that. Okay, yeah, that worked out good. All right, so we need that because it's gonna have to go in the kiosk and to Virginia.
Yeah,
they
so we
put
can
it
go on the
the-
borough channel, and
For volunteers.
I can post it on social media.
Also, Mr. Gafkin was very kind enough to share with me photographs of the original planting, which did include 3 blue spruces.
Oh, okay, oh, good, great,
Yes.
great.
I actually ran into Mr. Gafkin yesterday. He's very excited,
Yeah, I'm sure.
to say the least. And I actually did find out that we still have bricks that can be purchased for that area down there. So if anybody wants to purchase a brick, I just have to figure out how to revive it.
Yeah, the biggest problem we had with the program last time was that the company that was making them either weren't doing it anymore, or I forget what happened, but it came to a stop. But I know that Holy Trinity also did that same thing in that garden that they did on the side. And so they must obviously use a company that does that, so we might be able to
Right.
find out what company they're using, and it might be better than the one that was used many years ago for that. It's a really neat idea, the way you can get memorial bricks down there at the plaza,
Yeah.
and especially with the, getting the lights, like I said, we've looked at the different lights to put in and found nice commercial lights that will actually be flat. The biggest problem with the lights to light that statue properly from the ground is tripping on them, because people are gonna walk past that plaza. But Daniel went online and found ones that will go below the ground, and they can pivot to the direction you want, and then there's a flat cover that goes on top
Yes,
of
I
it,
have
so.
to find out, actually, I showed Mr. Gafkin the lights yesterday, and he says I need a higher voltage light, because
Okay.
the light that I picked out was only a 12 volt,
Okay. so
and he
high
says you
volt.
need a higher volt in order to shine
Up to that
up
high.
to the statue.
Okay. All right.
So I told him that I would go online, and whatever I found, I
Should
would
be able to
actually
get that.
send to him, so he could let me know if I saw the right voltage.
Okay. So
So-
that higher volt.
When is the celebration for,
The hands across the canal,
May 21st.
21st?
wait, what
Saturday.
are we talking?
Are you talking about Hands Across the Canal?
No, I'm talking about Robert Morris.
Oh,
When's the celebration for Robert Morris? Or isn't there any?
no.
There is one, but that's another great idea,
Yeah, actually,
a Robert Morris.
I think once it's finished and it's replanted and we finally get the lights that never got put up on there, I think it'd be a nice idea to have Mr. Gaffney come down that
But
designed
maybe
Maybe
it.
do
a
like
little
a
historic.
little ribbon cutting type.
Rededication.
Yeah,
Yeah,
rededication of that. 'cause
Yeah.
it's,
Then a little bit of history, somebody can do some reading, somebody can do some whatever else, and then
We can do that.
reenact it every so many years,
Use
if
it.
not every.
Yeah.
Well, I know Annie was saying that when we get the big pots and the commercial ones, to their self-watering, that she has people from, is it horticultural?
Master Gardener
Master
Program.
That will
Yes.
actually come down and will demonstrate, have a demonstration on how to plant them properly. So we thought that'd be a nice little occasion to have people come down and are involved and want to see how to do that, especially if we're looking into eventually having our own garden club in town. I think it's a great idea to have them come down and show us how to actually do that.
Yes.
And we'll do a little day for that, you know. So
Okay,
I think
but
that's-
Raise a lot of money
back
for
to
those.
Robert
They're
Morris.
expensive.
Just for future, to have a date every year,
Right.
his birthday or whatever date that would fit into the seasonal calendar, that, to commemorate him and the whole thing.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea at all. Not a bad idea.
Maybe something to work with.
Of course, it can't be a
Summer Seat on.
take-off
Yeah,
holiday
yeah,
for work.
definitely.
One thing in talking with Mr. Gaffin that I do want to make sure is clear for everyone, there should not be any decorating of the statue, no hats or
Right.
anything on
Right.
it. There was apparently a hat put on at Christmas time for a short
Yeah.
time.
Yes.
And then
And-
blew it off.
Okay, he was very concerned because if, that might encourage people to try to climb it.
Right.
And if there's any damage incurred to that statue, the fee and the work that would be required,
Right,
particularly on the smaller parts like the pen or
right.
something like that, the quill pen, it would be enormous and
Yes.
very difficult to fix. So
Yes.
he requests that nothing be put on the statue.
I don't think anything should be put on the
Yeah, it was a
statue.
bad
No, it's the
idea.
meaning, It's the meaning.
It was, yeah, it was a short-sighted act, in my opinion.
Yeah, and even now, as we've been down there and actually, the different times where we've been decorating it and cleaning it up, you really get to see up close some of the things that actually needs that tender love and care for, because it's an important commemoration, you know, for our town, and it should be kept very nice. So there's areas that could use a little repointing that, before it would get out of hand. It's small, but there are professionals that do that, so those are the type of things that we'd like to get some funds together to make sure that gets done, along with those lights being put in, to make sure that's all done properly. Because if you don't keep up on those things, it's like any other building or monument you have, it has to have care done to it. So it's a beautiful area, it was done very nicely. And so as we were down there doing the Christmas stuff, you could see some of those areas where that mortar could use getting redone. So those are things we'd like to make sure we get incorporated to get that taken care of, which I've also spoke to Mr. Subi about and said that, you know, we would look into finding funds to do that. So as we get this done and get it moving as far as getting it planted and keep up with its maintenance on it, those are things that we'll look for ways to raise some funds to do those things, to make sure that it's taken care of right.
Am I understanding properly that there actually is money set aside for that plaza?
Yeah,
That's
right,
going towards electricity?
yeah, right,
And
right.
without, I'm sorry, Debbie, but without lights shining on the statue that have anything to do with that actual plaza, is money going towards lighting? Because there really is no lighting.
Just the flag itself.
Fair enough, okay.
So it comes out, if you look on the bill list, it
Yep,
comes
that
out to
makes
about
sense.
$21 or something
Okay.
a month for that to be, because it's lit 24/7, that flag. And at Christmas time, it was like $22 more for that 5 weeks we had the
For
decorations
the
up there.
entire 5
So,
weeks?
yeah,
That's not
it
bad.
was worth every penny. It was beautiful,
Yeah.
really made a nice presence downtown. But what happened was the money that was collected back when they first built that area was then put into a line item in our budget for that statue maintenance. Some of through the years was used for maintenance stuff, from what I understand. When they had redone some plantings before, there was another time where I think another company came in and had put new plants in, and so I guess some of the money went into that, into the maintenance end of it. Right now, I think there's about 22,000 sitting in that line, and that's what pays that electric. It pulls out that $21 off of that every month to maintain that electric on there. So if you put I'm sure the LED lights would be a lot less, if you're gonna put that type in the ground, which is what you're gonna have in there today. You're still gonna have a little bit of a cost. For me personally, I remember Christmas time, one of the other councilwomen had said, oh, well, we could use some of that money to get the Christmas decorations. And a lot of the people that want to volunteer to come down and put the tree up and decorate it had all thought it'd be best if the money sat in the account to just pay that electric and leave it where it was. And that this type of thing, everyone was willing to donate the money and what they needed to decorate it. So it was kind of everybody coming together to do that. So if we can do that, for my opinion anyway, and leave that sit for if we had an emergency had to happen with that statue, or, like you said, the lighting itself, to
Yeah,
maintain
the
the
money
lighting on
sitting
it.
there is actually is supposed to be for the maintenance.
Yeah, if there was a way to collect everything we need without touching it, I would just leave it sit to do
Yeah.
that myself.
Another point just for that spot, and this is, I know it's more about talking to the borough and the council directly, but we had those cast iron pillars.
Yes.
We literally have, I think, 3 sitting there, one with a chain and one on the other side all by itself. They just
Yes.
need to be taken down at this point
Well-
until we can revise that look,
Right.
because it just looks silly with just the 2 with the one chain.
Well,
I'd actually like to, I actually asked about the pillars.
Okay.
We have the pillars. But I think the pillars on the Pennsylvania Avenue side need to be moved down
Mm,
There's a
Because
problem
of-
with the trucks.
Because the trucks.
turning.
because of the trucks
And that's what keeps
turning
taking
that
them out.
corner,
That's what keeps
and
taking
they
them out.
took out the 2 pillars,
Mhm.
from my understanding.
Makes sense.
So I'd actually like to see if there's a way for us to
Move them back.
move them
Yeah.
back further.
Because it does look nice.
It
when
does,
Oh,
and
it
then
does.
put the
It's a
chain back
great
up,
look.
yeah.
But it just looks silly when it's just the
Right.
ragtag
I agree.
pillars.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
So if we could look
Yeah,
to.
right
to
now
fix
there's-
that,
Maybe
that would be nice.
reconfigure it.
Right. To see if there's a way to just move them down,
Yeah.
And
so,
how many are there?
there's 3 there now, and there's 3 missing.
So they-
Okay, so one thought might be to have 2 and 2, and maybe use 2 and a chain on the back side of the planting.
Yeah, that's an idea.
That's not a bad idea.
It's not bad.
Just putting that out there
Yeah.
as an idea.
Well, we're
To
down
help
there, maybe we could take a
delineate.
look and see where we think we could configure that,
Yeah.
that'd be a better idea, and then.
Because that might keep people from walking in on that back side.
Mm.
Yeah, that's an idea too.
Because then we have to figure out how we're going to edge that back area so that not only easier for the borough to
Mhm.
mow back there, but, kind of like a barrier so people don't walk through it. I did get a phone call yesterday, I believe it was. Yes, yesterday, that there were kids,
3 of them.
young adults, 3 of them riding their skateboard on the wall
I saw
Oh.
that.
and doing
Yep.
stunts,
We're
I
gonna
guess.
s- we're
I
gonna
gotta say, I
decide.
did see them. I didn't think that they were doing anything destructive, to be honest with you. They were literally just hanging out. And I did see one of them actually riding along top, but they weren't doing anything dangerous or crazy.
Okay.
And that was, I literally
That's
passed by
dangerous.
them.
but, well, by the time I got down there, they were gone.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, they're gone.
And it really didn't seem to me that they were doing anything outrageous.
Yeah.
And that's just my opinion.
But they were on the wall,
Mhm. Yeah, it's still
and they shouldn't be on the
disrespectful.
wall.
Yeah.
Not riding a skateboard.
Not right.
What?
It's not,
No.
it's not the brightest thing to do.
No, but it's
but
still, it's not the place for that sort of
Right,
thing.
I'm speaking from a place of, I don't think what they were doing would damage anything that was there. Whether they hurt themselves or not, that's another story.
But the thing
It was a
is,
silly
if they do it once, they or their friends will go back and try again, and maybe more stunts, never mind getting hurt, but it's not the proper place. That's
No, I don't disagree
basically.
with
Well, I think once we actually get that defined as the bed, the new plantings, we put the mulch down, we're talking about putting a,
We need to figure out a border.
border around the edge.
You know,
It's gonna show
Belgian
it has a
block would
planted
look
area.
beautiful. Belgian block is a granite cube,
Mhm.
or not cube, but a granite brick,
Mhm.
basically. something like that, because it ties in, it's natural stone, and it's
What is it?
Belgian block, it's called, and they're typically about 8 inches long, and I think they go for around $2.50 or $3 a piece. I know it's expensive, but it's something to think about long-term, and maybe that's something that people might want to donate. If it's like $3,
Right.
and a family could donate,
Yeah.
$3 to do something like that.
Would pavers do that? There was an offer for some pavers, or
I
that's
just,
something they won't
they
last?
could, but the wall is made out of natural stone,
Okay.
and because this is connecting to that, I just think
So we
long-term Belgian block would look nice. I think if we need to put in pavers at this point, because that's what we can get, and we can get it for a
Right.
good price of free, then
Yeah.
we take that, but
Was
look to
there,
maybe long-term do something more natural stone.
was there any river rock found when you were digging up down by the dog park?
There was some,
But not enough.
I don't think that would work as good for that area, though. to tell
but
you the
I don't
truth.
think that, I
It's
don't
too
think
much
it's,
a hill.
yeah. I think also, you just want something a little bit more formal there,
Yeah,
Right.
that matches the
so.
wall.
And that's why the Belgian blocks usually granite bricks.
So we can
essentially
figure out,
that.
same thing, we'll
And that's
mark
60
out the
feet
footage
there.
on that.
Yeah, I have to do, it's a little bit larger than 60 feet, because the actual inner curve is 60 feet, so the outer curve is larger,
Right.
so I
So we
have
figure
to,
out the footage on that, we can figure out how many pavers we
Yeah.
would need.
And you said they're about 8 inches
yeah.
each?
I'll measure them to be sure, but I just think something like that would look really nice.
I
It's
think so,
natural
too.
stone, and long-term, that maybe that's what we look to do. I mean, if we have someone who's willing to donate pavers at this time, paver block, then, we look to something like that. But I just think it warrants something as nice
Right,
as we can
yeah.
get, so,
Right, it's just to finish it off.
exactly.
Okay, so you got-
And what's nice about the Belgian block is it lines up very nicely. You can do, a curve or what have you. It just gives a nice clean look, and it's natural stone.
Let's figure out how much we need then, we'll figure out
Right.
the
Yeah.
footage, and let's price them, then we'll have
Okay.
an idea of what we're gonna need. Okay, how do we do that?
And just to put it out there, we've talked about this before, Home Depot has a $2,000 grant you can apply for, and Home Depot over, I don't know if the one here does, but the one over in New Jersey on Olden Avenue had Belgian block, so maybe we could get it through Home
Do
Depot.
you have to be a nonprofit separate from the borough to apply for something
I
like
have
that?
I have to find out, for sure.
I think we're taking a break trip to Home Depot.
Yeah.
So, but
I think it's
that's
a bad
something,
thing.
they have up to $2,000 in
All right, let's
a
make up our
grant or something to
beautification
do.
shirts, we need to get out there,
Right.
stomp in the streets.
But that's something to think about. Maybe we can apply for something
I
like
think
that.
the Belgian block is great, I think, like I said, more formal and to keep the mulching on that
Right.
hill.
And
And
they're
it defines
thick,
it
they're-
as a bed, a planted bed.
Yeah, they're about 4 inches high,
Right.
so it's a
Be able
nice,
to weed whack against it and
Yeah.
keep it mowed up to that point.
yeah.
And it's not a bad idea if we, to put some kind, like you're saying, if we actually incorporate some of those, posts in the back,
Yeah,
to actually say this is a planted area.
right.
Inside that block, if it's not able to be used in
And
the
it would
front.
tie in with the front.
It's actually
on the
not a bad
sides.
idea to make it more formal.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll look at that and make sure,
I mean, if we have 6 posts, is
and
what we
the
have.
chain, you can get the chain.
Right.
If they don't have all the chain, you can get the black chain.
Right.
So
So if we
that's-
did 2 with the chain on one side and 2 with the chain on the other side.
Yeah, it would just define it,
Yeah.
as a planted area,
Then I don't know how it would look with just leaving one post on either side out by the street.
out by the street.
Do we know what the cost of those were originally?
I don't.
We could
Because
look
maybe
them up.
that's another thing, is to see if we could buy additional ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know they just installed
Or
the same
upgrade them.
identical ones up in, off of Stony Hill Road, in front of that new building area that was put up there, as you were heading up towards the farm. And there's a cute little restaurant on the corner, and they've got 4 of them. So if anybody ran the red light, they'd end up in their showroom there, dining room, I should say. And so they have those same identical posts up there. So
Yeah.
I'm sure you can purchase them somewhere, and they found them, yeah.
But that's just another way to finish off that area and tie it into what's already
Yeah.
going to be on the side, what was originally on the side and what hopefully will be
Let's see where
reinstalled
we
on
can,
the
we
side.
can pull some funds, like I said, it might be, go visit our banks and our stores and see if anybody wants to contribute to the project. We can do up a flyer for exactly what we're intending to do down there
Yeah.
and the cost of those things, and see
So I
if we
think
can get some
once-
contribution for it.
Once the plaza area is complete, you know, I think, and people see it, people will be inspired.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
It will be, I mean, and I think the businesses will notice it,
Mhm.
and
yeah.
it just, hopefully will be a snowball effect.
Absolutely.
Well, the day we were there doing the cleanup, and we were down on the side of the hill there, Annie, putting the plants in, a woman walked up to me, and it was just starting to rain, and she was dressed real nice. She was going to work in her business outfit, and she stopped long enough to find out who we all were. And I said to her, a master gardener that lives here in town, and, you know, we have Boy Scouts, and there's council there, and there's residents there that want to redo the plaza. And she just thought it was amazing. She thanked us, she said, this is wonderful, she thought it was great.
Where was she from?
She lived here in town. I think she was down from in the first ward. She was going to work, and she stopped to get coffee, and she saw us out there, and she knew what we were doing. And she walked over, and she said, this is wonderful. She loved it. And I said, well, we're gonna put all new plantings in there. And I said, and if you saw it at Christmas time, I said, we did the lights and stuff. And she said, I did. She said it was beautiful. So people will pay attention. They are paying attention to it. So.
Would
And
it
that's
be
what I like.
worthwhile for a suggestion for council to, I guess, once it's finished would be the proper thing, but then put it on the government channel
Mhm.
at some spot, like at the beginning of the government, of the,
Yeah,
of the,
yeah, especially have it looking nice new old plants.
just the two thoughts for fundraising, because a lot of money's being tossed around, a lot of dollars, for t-shirts, sweatshirts with the hood. One would be regarding the bird town with the different species of the birds, okay? And something that could perhaps be on the front, and Morrisville, you know, Bucks County on the back. The other thing perhaps, and I would be, because we got these sketches around here of the historic buildings,
Yeah.
gather them together, shrink them down, and put them on the back or the front of a t-shirt, have two different, you know, selections, and on a sweatshirt with the hood, and then on the back, Morrisville, Pennsylvania, Bucks County or something, to recognize, you know, that we're here in Bucks County, and just to kind of,
That's one of those things, and maybe open up that escrow account for beautification, because I had spoken to Mr. Subi about that, on setting a line in our budget for a dedicated area for any money that was collected that would have, because it's municipal ground, so you're gonna run anything that you're buying and purchasing through, has to go through the borough to do that. But it's just like any other project that's in town, and you put an escrow account in that's named for that area, and so any donations would come in, would go in through there. There's a ledger that's kept on the money coming in and what is being purchased. So if we start to do that where you're going to get funds like that, or donations coming in from a business, or
Right.
anyone else that isn't just donating, purchasing and donating it themselves, then you want the money to go that way, because you want to be able to show them where the money
yeah, of course,
is being spent for. But that's how you would do that through an escrow.
but the two, just the two symbols of the bird town, the
Yeah.
birds, and
Yeah,
the historicness.
yeah, because we're going to have to look at the ideas of where to get the funds, what we want to do.
Right, are the bricks, you said bricks are still available, are those something that can be done as a fundraiser then?
That's what they did the first time.
Right,
Yeah,
so is that
yeah.
something that's still available, that fund, that money could go into that fund?
Yeah, we could find out if it's something that everyone wants to do, you know. Like I said, there's areas that still can be pulled out and different bricks put in. We definitely have to find a different company, because I think that was the issue with the company back then.
We have to be careful color-wise, that we're not
Yeah,
adding something that looks brand new to something else that's all weathered, that's gonna really stand out.
yeah, yeah,
So just be cognizant of that.
yeah.
Can I ask for, like, an example?
No, just in general, so the bricks that are there are aged and weathered, and they
Oh,
have a
okay.
specific
15,
look.
15
You
years
put
compared
brand new ones, they're gonna stick out, it might
I'm
not look
sorry, I'm
right.
still on the
That's okay.
t-shirt and sweatshirts. I'm saying, what is he talking about?
Yeah, just any way to raise funds.
And
Oh,
We
that's a-
actually
that's a good
do
question.
need to
If
have
they
the
can, that
bricks
would be
down
awesome.
there, that whole, all the bricks down there need to be washed.
Yeah.
Power wash.
And maybe when they're
Professional.
power washed, if they have a different look and they look newer,
Yeah.
then it wouldn't stand out.
But I think we
But
have
to Annie's point, can
Yeah.
they use the existing bricks?
To put names on. The blank
Like
ones.
you take some out, you put the new ones in,
You put
and then you
columns where
remove
you've
the new
taken
ones
out.
when those are ready to go.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, you could do it that way.
Cause then you have that weathered look.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you could.
Just wondering. I know our family has ours, but,
Oh, I don't know that there's
but I was just
extras.
thinking for other people, why
But
can't we
you said there
reuse
was
the
some-
bricks that are there, that are blanks?
Available for,
Yeah,
Instead of getting new?
yeah, you
Through
could.
a company.
Yeah, I think there's two different shades down there. There's
Yes.
the white
Right, and
one
then
the
this way,
red one.
you can say, you can get your name in the plaza and the money is going towards,
Like pick a
Okay.
brick,
right,
Yeah.
you know, pick a brick,
right.
pick a brick.
I like
And
that.
then that money, and you just advertise in a way that says the money from this is going to other projects, to help this project here, and if that gets
Yeah.
accomplished, and
Mhm.
with whatever funds come in, where there's extra, then it'll go to the next project.
Okay. Yeah, they're all great ideas, 'cause I think that's gonna help all lock down there, just doing all those little touch-ups, you know.
No, and like I said, I honestly believe in my heart of hearts that once that area is done,
Right.
that people are, it's gonna set the precedence.
It absolutely does.
It
Anything you
will.
do,
Yeah.
anything you do that is positive and makes it look better, even in a small way, inspires something to change positively.
Yeah.
I know Mr. Subi had, when we were talking about lights at Christmas time and just decorating differently downtown on different seasonal occasions. And he liked the idea when we were talking about, is there some way to incorporate some other kind of lights down there, either on our light poles? I had mentioned to Danielle, because her husband's an electrician, a lot of your street lights already have some type of a lighting adapter for them. You know, I don't know how ours are made up, that you can plug in either lit wreaths or run the lights around the poles. They do that in Yardley Borough.
Or snowflakes.
Yeah, snowflakes.
The snowflakes
There's
are
so
real
many.
simple, and that's one unit, and something like that looks really pretty down the
Yes.
street.
So we were going to look and see, I don't know how they're set up, we'd have to see how those lights are set up and if there's a way to get into that electric for that. But that's an idea, but he did like that. He did like even, like I said, spiraling the lights around the post or putting something up there that lit, so that your downtown will have that same,
Right.
theme going down there and make it nice. So just to make it, more
A
appealing.
downtown.
Yeah, we are the, when you think about it, the gateway coming in from Jersey.
We are the
and-
beginning of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
We are your welcome to Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
We need to reflect that in as good a standard as we can.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I'm glad you said that, because I believe that, but every time I come around from Morrisville, around the corner into Falls Township, it's trashed.
Yep.
It's trashed, and I've spoken to them at meetings and, over the
Yeah.
course of years, and I went around there this morning,
It's
it's
PennDOT.
trashed.
Yeah.
But now
We'll
we're
talk about
talking,
that.
what about the other end of Pennsylvania Avenue, up by, West Trenton Avenue?
We
To
talked
the
about
border
the last
too,
meeting,
that-
yeah.
The,
The bridge where Calhoun Street.
oh, yeah.
Bridge, that's the photographs that I originally
Yeah,
took that
yeah.
show
Yeah,
the bridge over the canal that needs to be repaired.
yeah.
And really, Randy Kenner has been taking care of that grassy area, but really, it would be nice to get a sidewalk there so that you can come off of the bridge and go right onto the canal on the one side.
It was, it was.
Going up River Road, right?
Yeah, on the
Yeah.
north side of Trenton Avenue there.
I will say when I was dealing with the Vision Study Group, we did have representatives come down from DC 21 and the DNL, and there was an engineer that came down to walk with some of the council and the council president to view those areas. And that particular bridge was put in as part of the walk also because one of our bridges is designated to be replaced, which is Five Points Pharmacy. And that one is to be, even though it's PennDOT, is to be designed in a more historical.
Good.
You don't want like a fundamentals of the bridge, you wanna make sure it's done properly to be there. It's what they call a TIP program, which is a program that's set up with PennDOT for a certain amount of bridges each year or infrastructure to be replaced in your budget. And that particular bridge is designated for it, and the one in Tinicum. But they weren't looking at the one by Calhoun. And when I sent those pictures that you gave me over to the engineer that's working on those bridges along that canal, he liked those pictures because he didn't realize it. And then we walked down through there, and he said where that rebar and all is coming out, that really should be one of those bridges that's also put on the radar for PennDOT to be replaced. And it's a big one because of the fact that it's a lot of traffic. All of our bridges get a lot of traffic, so it's not that easy to shut them down and do that. And it's a big job, but it does need to be done because if you don't, you're gonna lose that altogether. So at some point, it has to be done. The decking on there, we saw that, the sidewalks are coming up, that really isn't us, even though that's a safety hazard, it is PennDOT, and they don't move that fast. I know that Corinne was trying to contact someone from PennDOT to see if they could replace those, at least the bricks along there, because you get a lot of people that are walking to Antonio's, it's gotten very, very popular, which is great. They come across lunchtime to come into the
Even try Chuck McElhaney's office if he's, and then have him go through. And I
Yeah.
know I was coming down, I can't, Crown Street, where the canal
Yes,
kind of, and
yes.
there was a woman, an older woman on a bike, and apparently she wasn't looking, she thought she had the right of way, and right out in front of me,
Oh, wow.
and fell off the bike. And, you know, the canal folks came and everything, and the ones who basically were up speaking, they need a stop sign there, because it's dangerous. You know, that's not us or anything, but it's
Right.
just dangerous that,
Right.
you know, and it's just,
Yeah, we have a lot of traffic, and there isn't a safe way to come across Calhoun Street Bridge alone and over where Annie's talking about, because if you look at that, it literally just comes to an end, there's nothing there. And it's a sharp turn, it's a bad design from the beginning, but I'm sure back in the day, they weren't expecting the kind of traffic that we have making those turns there, so I'm sure that at some point that's gonna have to be reconfigured, but it definitely is something that they're going to look at putting on the radar for that. I don't know how fast PennDOT moves on getting those
Right.
bridges done and the money come in, but you at least want them to be aware that your bridges have to be done, that you're not gonna neglect that, but yeah, it is, gotta be fixed down there. Because that really is a nice area where the bathrooms were put in, and it's a nice, you see a lot of people come across the dike and across the bridge, and they start their walk right there,
Yes.
in that area where actually the Hands Across the Canal is gonna be having their vendors.
Right.
So it's a nice big area. I've had this where Amy's got some plants that are gonna go down there to even freshen that up and put some nice plants down there. So it's also, it's an entrance into your town, so where you come across those bridges should look good.
Right.
You know, so it's our plan to start working little by little on all those areas. But, yeah, so they're aware of that. Now we'll keep on them.
One last question, is there any date set for when the DCNR is gonna do the, work on the canal on Bridge Street? Is there any, set plan for that?
No.
Okay.
The last I heard, because we're not the ones dealing with that, that's PEC that does that.
Okay.
And I guess they have to distribute that money, and they also have to go through, even though our engineer did the concept design on that, and we're asking them to be on, you have to formally ask that to be done, because it has to still go out for bids to do that. They're not expecting that to get done until probably sometime next year,
Okay.
because you know how fast that all moves. But, yeah, they were still working out who gets paid what and all those details, but it's there, but they didn't give an exact date. The last I heard would be sometime in 2017, spring 2017. I'm just glad they actually approved it, so that, you know, you are getting the money to move on that, so that's a neat idea. I think they were gonna redesign the landing when it came off though, because they did that concept, and then looking at, you gotta make sure that it's not dangerous for anybody, that it's a smooth exiting, getting off there, because that is quite a hill where you come up onto Bridge Street, so they're looking at a better way to transition off the canal, but that's a neat idea, because you want people to be able to continue through your town, because if you go down on the other side and you go down around that little lake that sits there alongside the fireworks place, so it's a real wide area of the canal down there, So the idea is to get that completely open to go through. Because that vision study group is working with the William Penn Foundation and DC 21 and some other groups that are looking to open that up so that you can go through there, bike through there. And that's why that tunnel area was made in Tullytown, because that's their part. So now it's just connecting all the other ones. But that they're hoping to get completed by 2020. So that's exciting.
Okay. Does anyone have anything else?
Well, I thought they were all great ideas. I really do.
It's a great meeting.
Yeah, I thank everybody for all your suggestions.
How
Very
often do you meet? I'm sorry, how often do you meet?
Once a month.
Okay.
It's
yeah,
always the fourth Monday of the month.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday, sorry, I don't know why I said Monday. Fourth Wednesday.
To be fair, right now, our biggest project was the plaza, as we got started, and get it in timely fashion because of the season.
Physically, I can't do that, and even I have contact dermatitis, so it's hard. But
Yeah. Come down and enjoy being with us.
Yeah.
You
Come
know,
hang
we
out
set
with
up
us anyway.
Yeah, we set up a tent
The
there.
imaginary
Snacks.
shovel
You can-
offering.
We usually have snacks, everything.
Moral
else.
support.
So we could always,
Well, I
you
can
know,
hand those out.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
help.
That's great.
Anything anyone can do, we're welcome.
I can hand those
Welcome.
out.
Yeah. 'cause we
And
were
thank
just-
folks for coming down. and-
Yep,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, your kids all down.
Love to have you.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. Please come down. It's fun. It's nice to have everybody together. We have a good time together. And I look forward to doing it, so.
Yes,